What is stages of grief? Bargaining. Grief is a natural and universal response to loss. It is a complex and intense emotional experience that can manifest in various ways, and it often follows a distinct pattern. The stages of grief are a widely recognized framework for understanding the different emotional states that individuals may go through after experiencing a loss. One of the stages of grief is bargaining, which is characterized by an attempt to negotiate or find meaning in the loss. Bargaining is the third stage of grief, according to the famous model proposed by psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in her book on death and dying. In this stage, individuals often try to make deals with a higher power or reality, hoping to change the outcome of the loss or reduce the pain and suffering associated with it. Bargaining can take many forms, ranging from spiritual or religious practices to rationalizations and justifications of the loss. One of the most common expressions of bargaining is prayer or pleading with a deity or higher power. Individuals may promise to change their behavior, make amends for past wrongs, or devote themselves to a particular cause or belief if their request is granted. Bargaining can be a source of comfort and hope, as it allows individuals to feel that they have some control over the situation and can influence the outcome. However, bargaining can also be a manifestation of denial or avoidance of the reality of the loss. By attempting to negotiate or find meaning in the loss, individuals may avoid confronting the full impact of the loss and the associated emotions of sadness, anger, and despair. Bargaining can thus be seen as a defense mechanism that helps individuals cope with the overwhelming and painful experience of grief. Bargaining can take many forms beyond religious or spiritual practices. Individuals may bargain with themselves or others, trying to find explanations or justifications for the loss. They may also try to make deals with the universe or fate, hoping that their actions or sacrifices will lead to a different outcome. In some cases, bargaining can even take the form of obsessive-compulsive behavior, as individuals attempt to control or manipulate their environment to avoid the pain of the loss. Bargaining is a complex and multifaceted stage of grief that can have both positive and negative effects. On the one hand, bargaining can be a source of comfort, hope, and meaning in the face of loss. It can provide individuals with a sense of control and agency, and help them cope with the overwhelming emotions of grief. On the other hand, bargaining can also be a manifestation of denial or avoidance, preventing individuals from fully processing and accepting the reality of the loss. The duration and intensity of the bargaining stage can vary greatly depending on the individual, the nature of the loss, and the cultural and social context. Some individuals may experience brief and mild episodes of bargaining, while others may struggle with it for months or even years. In some cultures, bargaining may be more socially acceptable or encouraged, while in others, it may be seen as inappropriate or unhelpful. Ultimately, the goal of the bargaining stage is to find meaning and acceptance in the face of loss. While bargaining can provide temporary relief from the pain and sadness of grief, it is important for individuals to eventually move through this stage and confront the reality of the loss. This may involve seeking support from loved ones, engaging in therapy or counseling, or finding ways to honor and remember the person or thing that has been lost. In conclusion, bargaining is a stage of grief characterized by an attempt to negotiate or find meaning in the loss. It can take many forms, from spiritual or religious practices to rationalizations and justifications of the loss. Bargaining can provide comfort and hope, but it can also be a manifestation of denial or avoidance. The duration and intensity of the bargaining stage can vary greatly, and the goal is ultimately to find meaning and acceptance in the face of loss. While bargaining can provide temporary relief from the pain of grief, it is important for individuals to eventually move through this stage and confront the reality of the loss.